Hello, ladies and gentlemen. It is time to wrap things up for our ninth week of racing here for round 9. I was about to get a little confused there. Gazieg joining me in the commentary booth once again for our Canadian Grand Prix, our home race. How are you feeling for Tier 1?
Do it again. I'm feeling good. I'm ready to do it again. Back to back striff. We were on the broadcast last night, and it was a very exciting race. I think tonight it's going to be another banger.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a very, very tight championship here in the Americas Tier 1, and we'll get to that in just a second. Of course, Montreal, 14 turns here, 4.361 kilometers here in the province of Quebec, Canada, the city of Montreal, and we are on the man-made island of the Isle of Notre Dame, I do believe, in Montreal. With that said, this is the 9th round. Next week, we have a break week, and then following that, we will continue on through with the rest of our season. We jump into Silverstone after the break week. Following that, Austria, France, Belgium, the Netherlands, China, Japan, as well as Abu Dhabi, and Brazil for the finale. It's a very action-packed season, without a doubt. Now, what everyone's here for, the Tier 1 action. We have some standings, courtesy of our good man Ghazi. Mr. Rhapsody, 124 points atop the standings, timings, and all of that as of recently. His teammate Maxim B, right there next to him. Mercedes off to a commanding lead here at the halfway point in the season. Becky B, can he make up the difference to these Mercedes racers? There's pretty well a championship in and amongst the Mercedes racers right now. Becky B falling back just a bit, and Graz is right there as well as Gabizem, and a good tight formation through down to 10th position in the standings. Williams quite a bit behind.
One thing you didn't mention is that the championship leader, Cody Lawrence, who's not on that calendar, not on that standings graphic because he's a reserve driver. And he's leading the championship as a reserve driver.
How many points does he have?
Tell you in 1 second.
Well,
he has 130 points.
So 6 points ahead of Rhapsody.
Yeah.
Well, we'll see what he can do to maybe disrupt things as a reserve driver this evening. But with that said, we are just about ready to go racing here in Montreal as the clock ticks down and everybody is readied up and ready to go.
I'm going to get a prediction going for who will get pole. Will Rhapsody get a back-to-back pole?
An excellent question. Predictions in the chat, of course. Sunny weather here, and we'll see if we can get a weather report in just a few moments. But it is 20 racers on the grid with us this evening. From top to bottom on the tower as things stand before we really jump into some laps here, we have, of course, the championship runner-up at the moment, Mr. Maxim B in the Mercedes. Following that, Forensic 54 in the AlphaTauri. Henners is back with us once again for another taste of the Canadian Grand Prix. He was with us yesterday in the Williams, and he'll be back tonight in a reserve capacity, reserving up a division. Good luck to him. Gabizem in the McLaren. We have Mr. Mew Mew in the Red Bull. Dave Haas in the Haas. And we have Dago in the Alfa Romeo in the 7th position on the timing tower. That said, we also have Wadapatowski in the Alpine, 8th on the timing tower. Fluffy Dave in the Aston Martin. Jamie Lawrence is with us in the Haas as well. Siffy in 11th on the timing tower. We have Meaty in the Aston Martin. Sidewinder as well with the Red Bull. Martin Sanchez for McLaren. Going to be a very action-packed race, no doubt. Cody Lawrence, as you mentioned, the reserve racer who essentially has 130 points to his name as a reserve racer, really doing a lot of heavy lifting in his races that he has come through in this division. Graz, 16th here on the timing tower. We have Waffalorian here in a reserve capacity over at Ferrari as well. Guac in the Alfa Romeo, as well as the championship leader Rhapsody. We have Gabix G for AlphaTauri. It is Henners leading us away here on a flyer, and it will be the first potential lap of the session, finding the traction out of a difficult section in turn 2. We come down flying through the chicane, the first chicane of the circuit, 3 and 4. Now through turn 5, the right-hander into the second chicane of turns 6 and 7. Now pushing through now the back straight. We come down flowing through a very nice scenic section of the circuit. We come into the 8-9 chicane. This is the third of the 4 chicanes here in the circuit. Gilles Villeneuve pushing out of turn 9, coming into turn 10. The very large hairpin. It is quite a large hairpin. Can fit quite a few cars through there should things get nasty on the opening lap of a race. Back down now through the Casino straight, rear wing wide open. You can see the split logo there of the Williams race car as we come through into the iconic 13-14 Wall of Champions chicane. That, ladies and gentlemen, is a lap of the circuit Gilles Villeneuve. And where does it land him? It's a 109.709 for Mr. Henners.
Behind him, the McLaren went for a spin. Martin Sanchez. Getting it collected on
109.243. Martin Sanchez, as you mentioned, with some issues, does get a lap across, a 22.852. We'll be looking for major improvements out of the McLaren later on in the session as Forensic picks up the gauntlet.
debut.
Very nice.
It's his first race with Emerald today, and that's a good time for your first banker lap.
Absolutely, really making a statement there. 5/10 ahead of Meaty there as Wadapatowski comes into the 108s. Still not enough to dethrone Forensic as Rhapsody comes in with a medium run. It's a 109.3 as Graz right behind him with 9.378. He did that on the softs. Both McLarens on the board now. Gab has invested his teammate with a 109.750. Fluffy Dave is on the tower as well.
Iffy on a lap in the Alpine car, reserving. Back after a long hiatus. A very fast driver. We'll see if he still has it or if there's a bit of rust from not driving for many months.
Great to see Siffy in the lineup. Jump to Dave Haas right now in the Haas as he has an unfortunate invalidation throughout a 13-14. And one thing to check here is if that invalidated his next run, and yes, it will. That's something I mentioned yesterday in the Tier 2 division. Should you come through this final chicane in Canada and make a mistake causing yourself to run invalid, you will not only invalidate your present lap, but the lap coming ahead here as you cross the line. As Siffy, as you mentioned, back after a hiatus, a 109.166 into the top 5 for his first run of the evening. Big issue in Sector 2. That's Gabix G looking the wrong way, and he has now gotten things turned back around.
Mr. Mew Mew goes P2 in the 108s with 108.8. Also making his Emerald debut tonight. So I guess tonight, Mr. Rhapsody has some competition.
Absolutely. Cody Lawrence coming in now. Really looking quick in the Williams. A 108.737. Not like him to get on the board.
Yeah, usually he does the last to first challenge, but today he's qualified the Williams car P1. Looks like he's trying to get as many points as possible to get a good lead on Rhapsody.
Not too many racers on active laps. We're going to see who will be the next to really put in a run here, and I do believe it will be Martin Sanchez, looking to find an improvement after he had some issues on his original run.
He's on the medium tires. So I guess it's probably going to be a dry race, at least to start Striff. If some drivers are choosing to start on the mediums.
Here we go now. Martin through into turn 1 and 2. Hugging all of that curbing on the entry. Trying to keep things tight to the apex through turn 2. Finds the exit curbing. Now he attacks turn 3 and 4. Things can get tricky here on traction, but he maintains it well. DRS now on the rear wing, pushing into the 8-9 chicane.
We had a crazy race earlier today, Striff, in Tier 1. There was lots of action, especially at the end of the race. Hopefully this race can follow that.
Hopefully. We love to see the action, sometimes the drama. I've seen plenty of it here around Montreal. My mind goes back to the Tier 2 division when I saw Liam, and I want to say it was Adrian, come into a major collision in the Wall of Champions chicane as Martin Sanchez gets rid of that 122 and gets a 109 in.
Yep, put his car P9 just ahead of his teammate.
Rhapsody. 108.666 for the provisional pole.
He's probably wondering what Cody's doing in P2. Like, normally Cody starts P20. And Rhapsody has clear track, but he's going to have Cody to fight with today.
Dago running into 6th position in the Alfa Romeo. Fluffy Dave looking for an improvement. He will find the improvement, I do believe, but it was invalid.
What, Bukowski's invalidated?
Maxim B also on an invalidated run here. It looks like he might just be firing things up for his first potential lap on the board. Maxim B currently the runner-up in the championship.
Meaty's on a slow lap. Henners is on a slow lap. Was there anyone pushing Striff?
Maxim setting purple sector 1.
Maxim yet to set a lap yet. He does not want to be starting from the back. He's been working very well with his teammate. And he wants to start as close to Rhapsody as he can.
Do you think at some point the gloves come off and these two start fighting for
I think the
a
gloves are already
full-time
off.
championship?
Yeah, I think the gloves are already off, but Rhapsody just has the upper hand. Maxi needs to step up and find an extra gear or something.
Well, he might just have done so. He gets himself into 9th position, a 109.180. Not the gear he wanted to find into the 108s, but at the very least, what he did do was get a time on the board. Cody Lawrence
On his own track.
striking back at the Brazilian championship leader in the Mercedes. Of course, you have two championships you look at.
Yeah, I was about to say.
You have Cody Lawrence, who technically speaking has taken more points in this division than Rhapsody this season, although he has done so in a reserve capacity. The full-time standings will give you Rhapsody as your championship leader with 124 points. Maxim, not too far behind him, but realistically, Cody Lawrence has done a bit more lifting in this division this season so far.
I would say he's
Big
the
brush
driver
with the wall
championship
there
leader.
on his out lap, or in lap, excuse me.
Looks like Maxine's coming back to the pit lane. Forensic is a new reserve driver. He's on a lap now. Purple improvement through sector 2. Oh, and a big wiggle out of the hairpin. He could not get traction, shaking the steering wheel back and forth, and he's abandoned the lap. Mr. Mew Mew on an invalid lap.
Just on with Waffalorian. Another reserve this evening. This time in the Ferraris, a car that I'm sure finds great enjoyment in. But not in that chicane.
Yep, he was a full-time driver for Ferrari last season in the amateur too. Coming off a points finish yesterday.
Martin Sanchez, 8th position in the McLaren.
Rhapsody's on an improvement. Coming to the final chicane now.
Ooh, that might have cost him there.
It was a small improvement, so maybe it did cost him. Yep.
Yeah. Not the cleanest chicane we've ever seen from Rhapsody. Kept it clean, of course, when you think about the track limits, but he didn't nail it, I think, the way he really wanted to. And
A bit too much curves.
yeah. I think he just over-rotated the car.
Grez coming through sector 2 now.
Validated.
Just as we went on him.
That, Ghazi, is a
What is that?
commentator curse, my friend.
Oh. Actually, I did the commentator reverse curse yesterday for Waffle.
Well, I just jumped on board with Meaty, and I'll tell you something, Ghazi. As soon as I did so, I gave him a little curse of my own, and he went for a good old, hey, how you going, into the wall.
That's not where you want to go.
Just kidding. Unless you're in Hungary.
Remember Strift Style when you reversed back into the pit lane at this track? You drove backwards to go back in the pit lane.
Tell you something.
What?
That was one of the greatest moments I have ever had around this racing circuit, and it is on video.
It's on your TikTok. Shout out to Striffy and
Thanks for the thanks for that. Maxine B now really wanting to find himself at home here. Something that we really haven't touched on is that it is his home circuit.
Striff, today's the day for Maxine B to beat Rhapsody at his own track.
Oh, that's a big snap coming out of 13 and 14. He improves, but oh, what could have been.
How much time did he lose? A lot. He left some Mercedes behind at the World Champions. What a Bukowski down 1/10 on his lap. See if he can gain it back. Coming to the hairpin now.
Through all champions.
That was a really good chicane. And he improves. But he was
Not a lot of time left here.
Now's the time to make your statement lap. You only get one more chance. And Mew Mew invalidates. Waffleorian crashes somewhere.
Here comes Cody Lawrence. Will it be enough to improve? It will not. We'll see if he pushes again on this next lap. Rhapsody on the move, however, no improvement in hand at the moment.
Looks like Gabbox is on the lap. I don't know what his time, if he's improving though.
Dave Haas improving the 12th position.
Big stack from
Gabbox.
Gabbox.
Yeah, that was nasty, but he did catch it, and he will find a 3/10 improvement. And a snap out of turn 2. Rhapsody jumps Cody Lawrence for pole position. Forensic into the front row. A 108.573. Cody Lawrence in the Williams this evening. Does he have an answer to these two? He does not have an answer to the Brazilian. It's Rhapsody on provisional pole here, unless anybody else currently running on track has something to say about it. Siffy into 4th position will jump Wadapatowski, his teammate.
It won't be him. He's down. And it won't be Mew Mew who's invalidated. Maybe Dago?
The Alfa Romeo looking to improve on a 109.106. Dare I say it might just be a pole position for the Brazilian. Locked in. Dago, 4th position. Forensic not showing any sign of any additional flying running.
Gabbox and
that's it.
Gabbox down on his lap. He's coming in the box. And same with Jamie. I think you're right. This will be the starting order for the Canadian Grand Prix, round 9 of the championship.
A wild shootout there in the end between the top 3. Dago went 4th fastest, and it was a good time from the Alfa Romeo to land himself within the top 5. But it all came down to Rhapsody, Cody Lawrence, and Forensic in that final shootout. They are separated by a very tight margin, less than 0.03 of a second, separating our top 3 racers this evening. And that can be both good and bad here around such a DRS dominant circuit as Circuit Gilles Villeneuve in Montreal. Now, one thing with this pole position, for those that will want to know, a 108.543 coming out of, once again, for what's been a very, very common occurrence for this Brazilian. It's Rhapsody on pole position again here in the Americas Tier 1 division of the Misfits Racing League.
Yeah, that was a very exciting qualifying. Forensic, new driver, putting this car P3. Maybe he'll throw a wrench in this championship. Some drivers, I think, are very quick, but invalidated their final runs, like Mr. Mew Mew. So you have Rhapsody leading, followed by Cody, followed by Forensic and Dago, and then Syfy and Wadapakowski. Mew Mew, Meaty, Martin, and Maxime, all M names, round out the top 10.
A very good qualifying session. A very tight grid from 1st through to 15th position. 16th position, excuse me. It is less than a second on the timing tower.
Waffle will be taking a 5-place grid penalty. Oh, it's raining.
Yeah, we never did get a full weather report of any capacity. And this is really quite the curveball for this race. It is going to be intermediate conditions based on the tire compound seen in Sidewinder's garage. Yep. So this is going to be huge.
It's unexpected.
Definitely
It looks even.
unexpected, and I'm extremely excited about it, to say the least.
It looks like it's raining even harder than it was in Tier 1, but not as cloudy.
Rain in Canada
Rainy
can
day.
change very quick.
Rainy day in Canada today.
Qualifying was not, but big curveball for this grid. Welcome to Formation, Round 9, America's Tier 1 racing action for the MRL. My name is Stryfium. Joining me from a not too distant land, about 3 hours south of myself, here in the Great White North of Canada, my good man Gazieg.
Yep. Very happy to be here. See a race around our home track. And it's typical Canadian weather, raining. We get all of the weather here, Striff. The snow, the rain, the hail, flying dogs and cats, everything.
There's a few dogs and cats flying around right now here with a very wild storm. Rhapsody, Cody Lawrence, Forensic, your top 3 Forensic here on debut, making a very good appearance. Dago in 4th, Free Alfa Romeo, Siffy in 5th, Wadapatowski in 6th, it's Mew Mew in 7th. Median 8th, Mr. Martin Sanchez in 9th, and it's Max and B running out the top 10, and I'd say everybody in the top 10 starting on their qualifying tire, but I'll tell you something. Rain is falling, so that rule just goes right out the window. Onto the intermediates we all go. Gabbyzim in 11th position, Dave Haas in 12th. It is going to be Sidewinder, Henners, Graz, Gabox, Jamie Lawrence, Fluffy Dave, Guac, and Mr. Waffalorian bringing out the rear of the grid in the Ferrari. Let's have to go, Ghazi. Rain on track. Rain
Or who knows
in the
how long.
air.
Oh, there's a car in the middle of the grid.
Excellent.
It's a Williams near the back. And it just glitched back into position. We're good to go. Lights are
Excellent.
started.
5.
4.
The lights have gone out. We're away racing here in Canada. It's an excellent start for Cody Lawrence, who's already made it ahead of Rhapsody into lead of this race. It's a massive lunge coming out of Rhapsody. I'm not entirely sure what happened there. A massive missed braking point. Rhapsody has taken lead of this race with a 10-second penalty. Cody Lawrence has taken 5.
Forensic had an issue and pushed someone out of the way. Cody Lawrence?
I am not entirely sure what to make of that first turn.
Let's just keep going. We have Rhapsody now leading from Dago. Syfy into P3. And Cody Lawrence with a huge penalty has fallen down to P4. But they should be able to remove that post-race.
Rhapsody took 10 seconds for a massive cut
The
through
chaos
turn 1 and 2. Welcome to Canada, ladies and gentlemen. Cody Lawrence looking for a lunge on Siffy into the hairpin. He gets it. Cody Lawrence not too thrilled about what's going on circuit right now. I imagine neither Rhapsody, because they got into a massive collision there in turn 1. Mew Mew and Wadapatowski wheel to wheel coming down the casino straight. They are
really side by
leaving
side.
leaving everything in it on this opening lap. Mew Mew 5th position. Man, things are tight behind them, as well as Dave Haas and Maxim B nearly go wheel to wheel through the chicane.
A lot of action. Mew Mew showing that he validated his final run, putting his car back where it belongs.
Gabizim alongside Graz, the McLaren looking for a way around the Ferrari. He doesn't find it. A big snap coming from him.
The McLaren got a bit alongside the front wing, and it snapped the car a bit.
It got a lot of drivers out of shape here, and Forensic has retired the car on the first lap of the race.
Cody might have damage, or Rhapsody might have damage. They got rear-ended at the start. Someone took a major collision.
Not clear at this moment what happened. But one thing is for certain, the gap right now between Cody Lawrence and the two front runners is nearly 2 seconds. Well, 1.5. Henners and Meaty. Henners gets a slip through on the inside of the hairpin.
A long train forming near the back. If anybody in the chat could tell us how long this rain would last, that would help us. It looks like it might not last the whole race. But pretty cloudy right now. Sure, doesn't the weather look like a typical Canadian day? With the sky like that?
This was my drive home today. I'm not joking. It was a bit whiter than this. It was a bit whiter than this. There was a lot more snow in it. But it was mixed, I'll tell you that much.
It's a very well made game. The graphics, they recreated it very nicely.
Final points position up for grabs right now as Martin Sanchez hunts down Meaty, but this is a tight formation right now running through all the way top to bottom. Big snap and slide out of Martin, and right behind him his teammate thinking through ahead of Graz. Fluffy Dave will be looking to try and pick up some pieces from that fight as well.
Mew and fighting with both Alpine cars actually. He's in Alpine sandwich right now.
Not a good place to be in if you're the Red Bull. Second time penalty awarded to Gabox. This will be the first penalty awarded after the opening lap of the race, where we saw Rhapsody take 10 seconds and Cody Lawrence 5. Now, I do believe Cody Lawrence will be able to serve his 5, however, Rhapsody will not, if I'm not mistaken.
It said 10 seconds for Rhapsody, not 5 seconds.
Yeah.
So yeah, I agree with you. Fluffy Dave. It's like going side by side through a corner. You don't want to go side by side. And that's why
really allowed walk through too.
Yeah, you definitely don't want to be fighting there.
Big lunge coming out of Graz. He gets things alongside Guac. Pulled alongside for a decent enough exit. This is a tight grouping for sure.
Red Bull went on the grass a bit. Sidewinder out of the train, completely on the right side of the track. He has to slot in behind everyone. So we have one AlphaTauri out of this race, and the other AlphaTauri in dead last.
Gab is in with a disconnection. His car in front of Fluffy Dave right now. Dave going to be looking for a way through on this car, and we have no ghosting. That car is going to be on track, preventing Graz from just flying through.
Yeah, the AI, it causes a very big blockage on this track. Not that a lot of room. The walls are very enclosed.
A lot of drivers navigating through.
And then you disconnect and you come back and you've lost 5 positions. All the work you've done.
Yeah, it's tragic. And there he is.
Mew looking at the back of Siffy. Siffy going extremely defensive.
The inside line through this chicane here is a very strong line to take. And Siffy, you mentioned he went defensive, and he went right into the precise defensive line he needed. And he's going to try and do it once again here, but it's just not enough. Mew around the outside, through back, switching to the inside through turn 2, getting things into 4th position, neatly done.
And a little bit of a push there.
Yeah, that was wild. For what to make of that? There you go, on the rear Rhapsody. Things not as tight as the Alfa Romeo would like, but definitely tight enough to have Rhapsody in his sights. Further back behind, Cody Lawrence does not have them in his sights.
The Alpines are gonna fight.
It's something that's something that we're not too unfamiliar with, considering the previous race this last weekend in Saudi Arabia in the Real Formula One World Championship.
We had Otmar in the pit lane with his hands in his head after Fernando retired.
Yes, an unfortunate scene for Fernando.
Montepaschi getting past his reserve teammate. Cody Lawrence being patient, but he's got a very fast driver behind him, Mew Mew. Good, this is going to be a good battle, Striff.
Well, from what we've been told, potential damage on the front end of that Williams, given the issue at the opening of the race.
Yeah, and Mew Mew's dispatched both Alpines. He's looking at Cody next.
It's a long race. Lap 7 at the moment of 35.
Yeah, a lot can happen. Captain Miner has came in the chat saying that the rain will stop at 30 minutes. So it could be around lap 25-ish. I don't know, I don't even see that many drops now. Do you, Strip?
It's starting to fade, the rain. And I think it's going to be a very interesting situation come pit stops now.
I think it's already stopped.
At
But
the
of
very
course, the
least,
track
here
is
in
still wet.
Sector 3 and in through Sector 1, there is not very much rain, if any at all. And it was dripping at the start of the last lap.
Mew Mew making contact with Cody's rear end. And on standard damage, you definitely do not want to touch anything.
Well, I'll tell you
He's
one thing.
trying-
I think that this is going to be a pit lap.
Yeah.
I think
I
Cody
don't know.
Lawrence is already starting to find a bit of a struggle in these tires.
Yeah, you think it's going to be dry tires now?
Absolutely.
You're calling it?
I'm calling it.
I don't know. Some people in Tier 1 today, they went up to the softs too early, and you
I
lose,
could be
like,
wrong. It
stall-
just could be. It could be him losing performance as a result of the damage that we've been informed. But I think that it's. I think it's throughout the grid here, and let's see what Rhapsody does.
I don't see much spray. Mew Mew's might overtake him here. before the
Rhapsody's
pit
staying
lane.
out. Dago's staying out. Cody Lawrence might play a gamble here and shoot in. No, he's staying out. It's not ready. Nobody's gambling it.
I think of all the people he's going to know, Cody is he knows how the car is supposed to feel on the tires and on the road. He's going to know when it's ready.
Well, he is going to gain some time to Rhapsody here, despite him being nearly, well, let's give you a precise, he's nearly 7.5 seconds away from the race leader. But given the penalty situation, should Rhapsody serve any of that, Cody Lawrence may just be able to catch up to him, but I don't think he'll be able to serve it.
I don't know whose fault the starting incident was or if it's going to be removed by the stewards. So I guess we'll just assume that they're going to have to serve those penalties through.
Yeah, but I'm referring to whether or not he'll even be able to, whether the game will even serve the penalty for him.
No, I don't think it'll serve in the pit lane. Mew Mew coming side by side with Cody.
It's a tight fight. between the Williams and the Red Bull, and it has been for some 3 laps now. Mew Mew looking for a way ahead. On the inside now, the Red Bull, they're coming through the chicane. It's a little bit of contact there for the front wing of the Williams on the
Oh,
rear
big,
left tire of the Red Bull, but that is going to be
little
Mew Mew into
overheated.
third.
A little bit too much on the exit there. DRS enabled Striff. You were totally right. You called it.
Well, no, I think I was a lap behind, or maybe a lap early. But I'll tell you who's benefited here. As long as they get out in a timely fashion and get a good couple laps in, it's these drivers who pit.
Safety car. Someone has crashed. I don't know who.
Has crashed?
No
And
one has
where?
DNF Striff. Maybe the Mercedes. No, that's just Dago and ahead. I don't think anybody's crashed. I don't know why the safety car came up.
Well, this has really changed things up now.
It's one of those. You know what Cody would say about this Striff? He would say it's one of those fun safety cars, where they bring them out in NASCAR to make the race fun.
Well, we know how the toying with safety car shenanigans went in the Formula One World Championship last season, but we're not going to go into that right now. Rhapsody is in. Dago is in, and no penalty is being served by the Mercedes. So that's a big factor.
Cody Lawrence served his. Everyone opting for the medium tires. Gonna try to make it to the end of the race from here.
It's a long stint.
There's gonna be some suffering at the end, but the immortal mediums should make it. The whole grid is on mediums now.
Fastest lap of the race, 19.798 from Dago, presently running in second position for Alfa Romeo. Position changes, ladies and gentlemen, have been very, very, very interesting. We have Rhapsody, who has held station in lead of this race, despite having a 10-second penalty for what yet we don't precisely know. We just know that it was regarding corner cutting. It was a big incident in turn 1 that I imagine will get investigated. Dago up 2 positions. Mew Mew up 4. Wadapatowski is up 2. Maxim B is up 5. Tiffy has unfortunately dropped back 1, but Dave Haas behind him is up 5. Martin Sanchez up 1. Cody, after the pit stops and penalty being served, he drops from 3rd position to 7th position. Then we have Meaty down 2 positions as well. Graz is up 4. Guac's up 4. 7. For the Alfa Romeo. Guac is up 7 positions. I'll say it again. Fluffy Dave up 5. Henners has held station in 14th position. Sidewinder down 2. Jamie Lawrence up 1. Then we have Gabizon down 6. Gabex G down 2. Waffalorian up 1. Penalties are not too many. Rhapsody with the 10 seconds, then Henners, Jamie, Lawrence, and Galax G all at 3 seconds.
Now Mew Mew is going to be able to fight with Dago. And maybe Rhapsody will be able to clear them both. The Red Bull driver has been making many overtakes today. And now with the track dry, DRS enabled, we're about to see some action Striff. And also, there's the philosophy that always happens when you see that green car driving around the track. We might see this again in a few laps.
Safety cars have a tendency to create scenarios where you may just see an incident or two.
It's absolutely true. Cowbugs coming to the back of this field. We'll be restarting the next lap, I think.
Yeah, we will most definitely be going around again. Unless the safety car decided for whatever reason to completely teleport into the pit lane.
I wouldn't put it past it. I've seen many teleporting in this game, Striff.
True.
It's gonna be an exciting restart, Striff. The track now dry. We'll have DRS. We'll see some overtaking.
Everyone gonna try and get some temperature into the tires. Safety car confirmed on the way in. Rhapsody essentially going to try and do something to get himself a good rocket launch race restart here. Saw a couple of good race restarts yesterday in the Tier 2 Americas division.
Yep, this track. You have to really watch. Dago looking at that Mercedes ahead, gonna follow him as best he can. Rhapsody's gone.
There's been an overtake before the line, it would appear, but it's been handed back between Siffy and Dave. Dago within half a second of Rhapsody. Wadapatowski and Mew Mew wheel to wheel. There's been contact, but the Alpine showing his his drifting skills.
The tires were going off.
Jamie Lawrence on the inside of the McLaren right now. The Haas in 16th position. Nothing happening just yet between the pair of Siffy on the rear of Max MB, fishing for a position.
He was going left to turn right.
Gonna be a refreshing, fresh slate for Mr. Cody Lawrence, given that he was running with a bit of a handicap and some damage for some time. He's got Martin Sanchez in his sights.
Dead to rights.
Well, Martin has some work to do first. Dave.
He's being held up by Dave.
Graz on the rear of Meaty. Nothing doing just yet, but they were tight. Here we go, Graz looking at Meaty, nothing yet. Thought he might have a sneak peek through turn one there, but he thought better of it. Dago on the rear of Rhapsody. Dago gets in front of Rhapsody at any cost. It will be a very, very big challenge for the Brazilian because there is traffic behind him, and Mew Mew hasn't really been pissing around at all.
Dago. It's going side by side with the Mercedes. And he gets the move done. Dago went to the lead of this race.
Mew Mew
leaving
right on the rear
in Mew Mew's clutches. I don't think Rhapsody has been overtaken in a very long time in this tier, Striff. Probably a bit surprised right now.
Martin and Dave right now. Martin in 7th. Dave under fire from Cody Lawrence. Siffy just ahead of him. Looking at Max MB, wheel to wheel as we come into the chicane right now. Max MB on the inside. It's a big jump over the curve for Siffy. Sanchez looking through on the outside, and there goes Dave. Where's Cody Lawrence behind all this? He's got the front row seat to see a double wide entry into turn 1 and back through 2. Siffy is in 7th. Dave dropping to Cody Lawrence through now into 9th position for the Haas. It's Cody through into 8th.
Cody with the alternative lines in the still wet track, making it work.
He's got a big axe to grind after that opening lap. He wants to get himself into lead of things, and right now he's got a big mountain to move in the form of Siffy.
I don't think it's much of a mountain. It's more like a boulder he has to push out of the way. Waffle
Matey
taking a
on the inside of Dave. Really holding things tight here. A little bit of a loss there. There's a big crash for the Aston Martin.
Martin Sanchez getting the move done. I don't know if it was under yellows, but he's ahead of Maxime either way. And yes, Media is in the wall.
Graz coming through on the inside of Dave. Maxim B and Siffy exchange.
Rapsy just took a 3-second penalty striff. That will not be being removed.
Uh-oh, there's been a big problem. What happened there?
Is falling.
What happened there?
I just saw the timing tower was jumping, but it looks like everyone's okay.
What? There's been contact. Siffy's been caught. He's been really caught here. He's dropping down the order. I can't even catch him. Oh my. No front wing for that car.
Oh, and Dave has no front wing in the Haas car. And he completely can't make the corner. There was a big accident, but we missed it.
Maxim B under fire from Cody Lawrence. DRS for, Cody. Mew Mew running the fastest lap of the race, 11.234.
Gabby's side by side with the Alfa Romeo. And Guac is not giving that up. Oh, he's gonna try to switch back. But Guac has too much traction. Graz also ahead. Really tight. And the penalties are racking up for him. There's another 3 seconds.
Yeah, he's up to 9 seconds now.
Gabby's these points positions, this battle is tight strip. Rhapsody. Very close to Dago.
Maxim B looking to defend, trying to place that car in a way where Graz might think twice about making a move, but Graz through into 7th now. Walk in the rear. Jamie Lawrence and Fluffy Dave have an exchange, but it's Guac with a big send on Maxim B now around the outside of turn 2. Can he find the traction?
Oh, and Jamie Lawrence is around doing a spin for the crowd. He's reversing out of the way.
Very unfortunate and bad luck to Jamie there.
Mew Mew, very close. Jamie just retired in the wall in the traction safety car.
That's a safety car.
The same place that Waffle crashed in qualifying yesterday.
It's a very difficult traction zone, turn 2. I talked about it yesterday.
Especially with the tires very hot from the spinning. Mew Mew dived into the pit lane. Rhapsody stayed out. Watabikowski stays out. Another set of mediums for the Red Bull. Dago going softs. Can softs make it to the end strip?
No.
Maybe with a puncture they can.
Yeah. I don't believe that softs are going to be a tire anybody wants to find themselves on at lap 35 if they're going from this point. I mean, the safety car might help it a bit, but it'll be a
I
tough
think
stint.
Mew Mew is in a prime position. Fresh tires. If it stays green to the end, it's looking good. Everyone ahead of him is on 9-lap older tires. It's a massive difference.
The entire field is going to get bunched up for a second time.
Gian in the chat predicting there will be another safety car drift. Do you agree with that?
Yes. I've seen things.
You see the future?
I've watched a lot of races in the Misfits Racing League, and Canada has never
In
been a
all
race to
races.
disappoint.
Canada is one of the most exciting tracks of the calendar. It always brings great pitch.
Absolutely.
Even in real life too.
I agree, and we've missed it dearly.
We'll be back this year though. Any Canada fans in the chat? I know the other MRL admin, Freeware, he's a massive fan of this track for Smith.
Been a very turbulent race.
And we're coming in this lap. We're going back to racing. This is his favorite track in the game, Gio.
Safety car on the way in. Rhapsody is gone.
Even caught me by surprise. Dago, Cody, and Wadapikowski very tight. Dago on the fresh softs. Certainly he's gonna have a pace advantage.
Mew Mew with a dive on Maxim right now. Maxim B and Mew Mew making contact. Mew Mew getting things under control. Back through in front of Maxim. I think Maxim might have just let him by there. Cody Lawrence and Dago now have an exchange. Soft compound tires for Dago.
Cody wants to follow Dago.
Wadapatowski under major threat right now. Dago threading the needle up on the inside. Doesn't get enough of an exit to push through on Wadapatowski, but he will have enough of an exit to catch a slipstream here. Turn 1 might be his striking point here. He doesn't have enough juice to come through into 13-14, but you can tell Wadapatowski knows he's there. Dago needs to watch it because he nearly grazed the wall out of 14 here. He's not going to have the run into turn 1. Martin Sanchez, meanwhile, will have a run on Gabux G on the inside into turn 1 here. The McLaren inching ahead of the AlphaTauri, but it's advantage AlphaTauri for the switchback opportunity on the inside. But Martin Sanchez with the power in the McLaren will move through ahead as Dago and Wadapatowski now through turn 6. Dago gets the move done.
Was coming back at him. Dago coming after Rhapsody now. Rhapsody
Henners
under
and
threat.
Guac tight between the 10th.
Medium waffle exchanging. Henners going side by side, and they touch a bit. Guac and Henners in the back there going side by side into the hairpin. It looks like Siffy has spun in the back. He's in last place in this race now.
Mew Mew on the rear of Cody Lawrence. Henners, the other Williams on the rear of Guac. Graz in the
Mew has
rear
to
of
be patient.
Gabox. Graz on the inside, getting things done through into the chicane. Gabox takes a penalty for his efforts to defend.
Mew has to be patient. He's on the best tire.
There's
Oh,
been a
Dago is out of this
retirement.
race.
There's been a retirement. Dago is out, and there is the third safety car in this race.
I don't think that's what June wanted. His teammate out of this race.
Well, if anybody was going to benefit from the safety car for a tire swap, it would have been Dago. The plan most very well would not have been for him to be the cause. Turn 2.
Yeah, he's not going to be happy.
Difficult traction zone.
And now
All
it's all come
weekend,
down.
all week long. I've spoken about it.
And it might not be the end strift. There might be more victims. Now, Alpha has just Guac left, who's been in deep fighting this whole race. In a battle with the British Reserve, Henners. Will we see anybody boxing? Mercedes just boxed. Rhapsody in the pit lane. Rhapsody gonna go for the soft tires. I think that's the smart move.
I think there's going to be another safety car.
Yeah, but still, I would rather be on fresh sauce rather than 15 lap old mediums, 14 lap old mediums. Maxime had to stay out because his teammate was boxing. Well, maybe if you're Wadapikowski or if you're Gabazov, you box.
I don't know. It's tough to say here what is going to happen. 3 cars out of the race. 17 remaining. Many penalties to go around.
The problem with turn 2 is you come into it through turns 1, and then you have so much speed, and then you come to that traction zone, and it's like the car just oversteers. You don't expect it to have such low grip in that corner.
Wadapikowski in lead of this race. Cody Lawrence in second position.
Mew Mew right behind them with no penalty. Gabazum, the Tommy Tower just freaked out.
The timing tower freaking out in F1
Yeah,
2020. F1 2021.
Are you shocked as I am?
I am blown away.
I'd be more surprised if it was working correctly.
Yeah.
I don't know, Striff. I think Mew Mew has a good shot to win this race. I don't want to jinx him, but in P3 on the much fresher tires.
Yeah, Mew Mew has a good show here.
It's sad to see Maxime struggling so much on his home track. Sidewinder taking 5 seconds for ignoring yellow flags.
That's rough. Safety cars coming in.
Coming in for now.
for now. Lap 26, soon to be 27, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to what is about to be green flag racing with
This time,
Wadapetowski in lead of things.
yeah, a different person restarting. See if he learned a trick from Rhapsody.
A lot of ground to make up for any of the drivers who came in to the pit.
Cody is ready for this restart drift. And Wadapekowski's gone. Cody was totally expecting it.
Not a lot of options the way Wadapetowski restarted that race to really escape. Cody Lawrence was really, as you said, on it. Find difficult traction coming out of turn 2 on the worn tires. Mew Mew with a very good exit.
He used a bit of battery there.
Maxim B takes 3 seconds.
Yeah. See, when they come to the straight, Mew Mew, is he going to be on the back of Cody still?
Yeah, absolutely. Look at the grip. Look at the power coming out of the Red Bull. The Williams is under threat right now. Mew Mew with a lunge into the hairpin. He is going to get himself alongside of Cody Lawrence. Pushing through out of the inside. He will capture second position.
On the back of water now. Might get a 2-for-1 striff. Cody coming back at him though.
Wadapetowski going defensive on the inside. He'll hold it for now, but Mew Mew with another brilliant line through there will have a decent exit to try and get another crack.
This is a crazy fight.
Mew Mew doesn't want to take any unnecessary risks,
but
he may not need to.
It looks like Cody got a bit shaky there.
Bit of an issue between Mew Mew and Wadapetowski through 3 and 4. Wadapetowski's still ahead, and here comes Cody fighting. Bit of contact between Mew Mew and Wadapetowski as Cody looked for a way through on the inside. Wadapetowski still in front of the Red Bull, but the DRS will be coming online in a lapse time. Wadapetowski does not have a lot of time to hold on here, but man, oh man, is he ever. And it's really keeping this grid tight all the way down to 16th position. There isn't a single gap of 1 second or more here. Wadapetowski, yeah, he's having a little bit of lag now, and I think this might be it for him as Mew Mew and him wheel to wheel, side by side, coming down the casino straight.
Waffle has spun.
Wadapetowski with a good line through that chicane. Mew Mew, very conservative. Cody Lawrence, very close to Mew Mew. DRS is going to be enabled for these racers now as we come through into lap 29 of 35. Wadapetowski, less than 3/10 the separation between him and Mew Mew. We come into the first chicane of 4 in the lap.
Yeah, if you're going to barrel through those chicanes to the finish, striff. Zippy going fastest.
Mew Mew really pushing here. Not enough to get through ahead of Wadapetowski.
Yeah, he's
what
got
an
Cody
exit!
Lawrence right behind him. Sidewinder has spun. Big contact from Fluffy Dave.
Mew Mew with the exit with the DRS now, looking for a way through on Wadapetowski for lead of this race. The Red Bull is ahead into first position through the chicane.
Now it's time to build a gap.
Henner's looking on the inside of Maxim B into turn 1. Tight battling between the pair. Maxim holding on to 6th.
Look at this battle between the McLarens. They almost went side by side. Wadapekowski just took 3 seconds, Striff.
Not what you want to be doing in that type of position. Right now, Henners and Maxim wheel to wheel. There's a big shunt between them. Henners goes off wide and takes wing damage. Maxim B, I think, managed to hold on there.
Yeah, the British driver is falling out of the points now. Rhapsody, side by side with his teammate. They exchange. It looks like Maxime let him by. So we have McLaren's ahead of the Mercedes drivers. Both teams fighting.
Been a wild, wild Canadian Grand Prix. It never disappoints. Right now, Graz looking for Guac, and it's Gabizim and Sanchez with an exchange through the chicane.
Cody Lawrence. Gonna
Through
go
the
for
inside.
it.
He gets it.
Now Wadapakowski has both McLaren drivers behind him. Martin Sanchez all over the back of Wadapakowski. Wadapakowski falling like a stone in this grid.
Sidewinder with a retirement. That's in the pit lane, I do believe. No, it's
Yes, it
not. That is
it's
not
on
in
the
the
front.
pit lane.
And it's gonna bring out another safety car. It's actually, you know where that is, Drift? That's where you reversed into the pit lane in the wall there.
Well, that means one thing, and that's that it's a Wall of Champions chicane retirement.
Yeah, but it's on the left side of the wall, which is a very common wall to hit. I think that happened in Tier 2 also. I've lost count, Ian.
4.
Oh, and there's a front wing that just went flying. Did you see that?
I did not.
It was a red front wing. I don't know whose front wing it was. It was left behind on the grid and someone drove over it. This is good for Mr. Mew Mew.
Absolutely. I mean, he was in a good position coming into this safety car situation. This safety car situation, it really hasn't shaken up too much as far as the top 3 are concerned right now, or top 4. Because you look behind them and it's just a sea of black and white flags. Penalties are just riddling this grid top to bottom.
Yeah, and there's a black and white flag in P2. Cody Lawrence, the pirate captain. It's a very good drive for McLaren. P3 and P4 right now. Wonder what let's take a look at the penalties, Striff. What they are. Rhapsody with 13 seconds, the 10 seconds from earlier.
That's tough to have hang over you an entire race. No doubt about it.
Yeah, especially when you want to make moves now on this restart, but you still have 3 seconds. At least. 10 seconds might be removed, but... He's going to have to get really aggressive on this restart. Another restart. How many times have we said restart tonight?
This is our 4th safety car.
Yep.
Look at Dave in 13th. Jamie Lawrence's teammate. Looking right at him. Looking to jump a lot of these cars. Potential podium for this man. I think podium would be a stretch because he'd have to jump 10 guys on track, but yeah.
He's going to jump a lot of positions, and look at all those penalties ahead.
Safety car is going to come in. There's no way.
Rhapsody's going to be He's gonna be flying on this restart.
There's no way.
Mew Mew getting ready to lead the
These
restart.
penalties, it's no chance of another safety car, ladies and gentlemen. No way, Jose, for another safety car. It's all down to these final 2 laps. Mew Mew controls this race.
He's gone. Big gap from Cody.
Maxim be under immediate threat from Fluffy Dave. Rhapsody is looking at the McLaren of Gabism. Rhapsody gets Gabism, Maxim B, and Dave. Still tight in the grid, but it was Rhapsody to really get that trigger pull done on the McLaren. Rhapsody looking to make up position on Martin Sanchez as he's on the soft compound tires. Wadapatowski, after dropping many positions, is dropping a couple more, albeit he's on the soft compound tires.
He's got a big penalties to his name. Rhapsody, Martin Sanchez. Gonna send it anyway. Going side by side in the hairpin. Rhapsody chasing after the top 3. The top 2, I mean.
Just a reminder that this is the white flag lap. This is the final lap coming ahead now.
Dave Haas is spun. Wadapikowski going side by side with Guac. Oh, and they touch.
Oh!
And Wadapikowski's spinning.
That is
And
a
the
huge
Alpha-
issue.
AlphaTauri got collected and Henders is out of this race.
Oh my god.
And meanwhile at the
Wadapatowski's
front,
curbed. Wadapatowski is curbed. Rhapsody
Meanwhile, at the
gets
front,
an overtake
Rhapsody's-
ahead of Cody Lawrence through 3 and 4.
I wonder if that car will be clear. It's out of the way now.
He had to have reset to track there.
His car was beached, Striff.
We've seen that a
Martin
few times.
Sanchez.
My mind goes back to Spa last season.
Linus kick tips.
That's right. Season 4.
I remember it. At the first corner. I think.
No, that was Puon. Down Puon.
It's the proposing thing. Proposing, however you say it. Martin
Mew Mew
Sanchez.
coming through the final chicane. Mew Mew in the Red Bull as Martin Sanchez fights Cody Lawrence. It's Mew Mew to take the checkered flag. Rhapsody behind him. Martin Sanchez and Cody Lawrence having a drag race now to the line. Gabizim's there. Gabizim will jump ahead of Cody Lawrence at the line, but penalties and all of the shuffling is now coming into play. And our race has concluded with
Mew
Mew Mew
with the win in his
Wow.
first NRL race, taking the checkered flag ahead of Cody Lawrence. That's a big accomplishment.
That was huge. That was huge, that race. I enjoyed that race very much.
Yeah, it was very exciting. Hopefully Mew Mew will be joining us for more races in the future because he brought excitement today.
That was a wild campaign. Mew Mew really brought it. Really brought it today. My, oh my. I love to see the home Grand Prix. There have been some great races this week.
Look at that, Striff. Maxime in 4th place. I think he'll take that.
No, I think he's pissed. If I'm Maxim B
No.
in
After that crazy race, could be worse.
It could not have been that crazy. You never know.
Martin
know.
Sanchez with the huge race, P3.
What a wild,
two
what
Israeli
a wild
drivers.
campaign.
In the points.
All right. Mew Mew with the win from 7th. Cody Lawrence will hold station in 2nd and finish there as things stand. But of course, there's going to be a big opening lap investigation. No one knows what happened there. Martin Sanchez moves from 9th to 3rd. What a podium it is for them. Maxim, as you mentioned, 4th. Fluffy Dave in 5th from 18th. Wow. what a stellar campaign it was for Fluffy Dave in the Aston Martin. Gabizim in 6th, Graz in 7th, and two other great racers there getting to finish into the points, like, of course, Walk, Siffy, and it was Rhapsody, who actually failed to score a point in this race finish, given the penalty situation at the end, which is unfortunate. With that said, ladies and gentlemen, I do believe that will be it for our coverage of the MRL this evening, and we are going to be going on a break week after our 9 rounds, where we head on to the next 9 rounds. And with that, Ghazi, any messages from you for our viewers before we wrap things up ahead of our break week?
I hope everyone has a great break week, and it was an exciting first half of the season. I can't wait for the next half. We'll have lots more action coming the next few months.
Absolutely. And of course, hello to Mr. Biggles in the chat. Good to see you. Thank you for coming through. Happy to see you enjoying the commentary. We are going to be back not next week, but the following week. You can see the date there. It is going to be Britain, and it is going to be an excellent, excellent campaign. Cannot wait. Cannot wait. All right. That's it, ladies and gentlemen. We are going to bid you farewell, and we will see you all in the next one.